everybody, welcome back to Real Wasted. I'm Pat.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Sean.
And since we are springing ahead very soon, I figured it was appropriate that we would watch the remake of RoboCop.
You're coming with me.
We have a couple of very interesting drinking games for RoboCop. The first one is one of my favorites because Pat's never seen the movie and Pat came up with the idea.
It's called Oldmaning. It is any time in a Gary Oldman movie where he completely overacts and it takes you out of the movie.
The second rule, Keaton confusion.
Wow.
Every time you confuse Raymond Sellers with Bruce Wayne. Number 3, pay your respect. Every time they subtly do something as a tribute to the original film. And it does happen a few times, and if you've seen the original enough, you'll catch it.
Number 4, exceeding expectations. Anytime you think this is going to be as horrible as the 80s version, and it's not, it's actually better, take a drink.
And I came up with the fifth one because apparently you tell me that they lie to his wife a lot in this.
They lie to everybody a lot in this movie, the wife especially.
Yeah. So I called this rule Decepticon because he's a robot. I'm clever. All right, I think we're ready to get started. Everybody out there, get your drinks ready. We'll see you guys when the movie ends. Until then, cheers! So, RoboCop.
It was your first time seeing it.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I loved it, actually. I didn't think I would. Like, I really thought like it was going to be like kind of like a rip-off of the original. I thought there wasn't going to be a lot new added to it. It seems like a really well-made movie.
Hey, exceeding expectations.
Drink.
Cheers, drink.
As a RoboCop remake, it's good. As a standalone movie, I enjoyed it a lot.
See, that I figured you would appreciate a decent remake, but I thought as a standalone, that's where I thought you were going to hate it.
That's where I think the exceeds expectations thing comes in, because a lot of the scenes in this movie where I thought it was going one direction, I thought it was going to get too cliched or too tied in with the original, I thought it really did explore a little bit.
This was actually really good. I'm a fan of the original movie. I love it. I've loved it since I was a kid. I usually hate remakes, but they actually did a really good job with this one. It's very up to date. And by that I mean the technology's up to date, but society's up to date. The whole idea of going into a war zone that people don't want us in and finding a way not to risk soldiers' lives and police officers' lives.
Make it more tactical.
This movie, for this period of time, makes a lot of sense.
Granted, the perception of Detroit hasn't changed much over the couple of years.
No, it's the same thing.
Where it's been like, hey, maybe we need robots. You said it's been in development hell for years.
For about 12 years.
Yeah, I don't think people would care about this movie as much 12 years ago. I don't think we would have been ready for it. I think everybody would have just been like, why are they remaking RoboCop? We just had it. They waited enough time where there was more of a spin that they could put on to make it relevant to today.
They also made the scars of RoboCop 3 go away.
Let's talk about the cast.
Yes.
I would like to lead off with the understated Jay Baruchel in this movie. I love Jay Baruchel in anything, and
because, you know, you like people talking like they've got their mouth full or something.
What?
Even though it was a very, very minor role and he didn't really do anything differently than we've seen before. It was just nice seeing him in it.
Everything with Jay Baruchel is Jay Baruchel in a different costume. Speaking of things who look exactly the same in everything they're in, hi Samuel L. Jackson.
Even though he had to exercise great restraint and not drop a motherfucker in throughout the movie.
He didn't restrain it.
He did. They let him do it at the end.
They let him do it at the end?
That's what I'm saying, though. Throughout the entire movie, there could have been so many more motherfuckers than there were.
He couldn't make it through a PG-13 movie saying motherfucker.
He came through.
Let's talk about Michael Keaton as a villain. Because you've never seen this before, because you obviously you associate him with Batman, and that was one of the rules in the drinking game was the Keaton confusion, where you confuse him with Bruce Wayne. You don't think about Michael Keaton as a villain, and he was really convincing.
He was.
Yeah.
Mostly because he just, again, like, it seemed like nobody was outside their comfort zone for this, but it worked. Michael Keaton, as just a kind of more stressed out Michael Keaton, works as a villain. Just like Gary Oldman as a little bit more of a stressed out Gary Oldman works as a hero.
Of the 27 drinks that we took, which is pretty low for us, I think that Gary Oldman contributed to a lot of them.
This has to stop!
Get a hold of yourself!
I like Jackie Earle Haley in this.
So did I. I'd like to have seen the alternate universe where Jackie Earle Haley was more popular than Johnny Depp, where Johnny Depp took this part instead. But Jackie Earle Haley was really good. He was convincing as a villain, as he always is.
And Joel Kinnaman was a very, very solid RoboCop. He hasn't done a whole lot, at least nothing else that I've seen, but he was really good in this movie. I bought him as RoboCop.
And I like that they include a lot more emotion from him. There was only the few aspects where it was like, I am programmed to fight crime. But the rest of it was actually him fighting with his own emotions. They kept the brain mostly intact.
Somehow, he's overriding the system's priorities.
That one scene where they show the deconstruction of the body and all it is just brain, lungs, heart. I like that a lot.
Before that, and maybe it's just because I'm so used to seeing it now, like, you almost think of him as Iron Man a little bit. Like, you think that there's just a guy in there protected by a suit. It's really not until they start taking him apart that you kind of put the two and two together that this is what's left of him.
I like this movie a lot. I really didn't expect to, but, like, I would see this again, like, wholeheartedly. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
And I drank enough for it. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what this show is all about. From all of us here at Real Wasted, I'm Pat.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Sean.
Cheers!